So first of all, obviously I've already been introduced, but thank you very much for listening to me today. I'm going to be talking to you today about a charity that is very close to my heart, named Mary's Mills, you see there, and also a bit about my story and why I do what I do. You can also see there it says Mary's Mills, a simple solution to world hunger. Kind of the clues in the name. Mary's Mills thrive to hopefully one day end poverty altogether, as through Mary's Mills, it only costs £12.20 as the global average in the 12 countries where Mary's Mills feeds. It only costs £12.20 to feed a child for a whole school year, which seems like a crazy figure. Just £12.20 to feed a child for a whole school year as a global average in the 12 countries where Mary's Mills now feed. All the ones in black, they're the 12 where Mary's Mills are currently feeding. All the ones in red are where Mary's Mills used to feed, and where they have set up programs by being there. They've now helped the local communities set up their own initiatives to then feed people for themselves, as they've given them that head start and that boost they need to go forward and fund and feed their local schools and local communities. It says also there that Mary's Mills are now feeding more than 890,000 children every single school day of the year, which seems crazy. That's almost 1 million kids every single school day, just because of Mary's Mills, and obviously because of the help and support of people like you, fundraising and supporting Mary's Mills. So now a bit more about my story and why I do what I do. The reason I do what I do is all because of the 2004 Boxing Day tsunami in Indonesia, when I decided that I needed to do something to help these people, because obviously at the time I was young and I was only 4 years old, coming up 5 as it was my birthday, only 15 days later roughly. So after seeing that and seeing how people's homes and lives are being destroyed and knocked down by what started off as raindrops, I felt like I had to do something to help these people whose homes and lives were being destroyed by what had started off as raindrops in theory. So I decided for my 5th birthday, like I say, was only about 15 to 20 days later, I decided to ask for money instead of birthday presents and then give that money to charity. Even if it was just coppers or a £5 note or a £10 note that you would have spent on a present, getting my whole class together for a big party, even if it's just coppers that your parents had in their pockets as they arrived at the party, every little helps, especially with charities like Mary's Mills. So I started for my 5th birthday, and I've done that every birthday since, asking for money instead of birthday presents and giving that money to charity. But I also started off for numerous charities, not just Mary's Mills. I didn't even know about them then, but for charities like NSPCC, Help Us Dry the Tears, and numerous other charities, doing car boot sales, vegetable sales, car washes, car boots, and still trying to do them today. But as I've got older, I've been capable to do bigger and larger events. In the top left corner, since 2010, there's been 5 Brighton Marathon mini miles. So of course you've probably all been to Brighton down in the south by the sea, probably all been to the beach there. And every year they have a Brighton Marathon. And first of all, I'd like to say if any of you would be interested in running the Brighton Marathon mini mile with me next year, or the years to come, I'd like to continue doing that. So if you'd like to do it, talk to your teachers and get them to contact me in some way, as we do that, raising funds and awareness for Mary's Mills, and also 50-50 split for another charity. I found out about Mary's Mills when I was 6 years old, and at the time it was just £5 to feed a child for a whole school year in Malawi. And to me, just being 6 years old and thinking just £5 to feed a child for a whole school year, that just seems crazy. In places of such poverty, just £5. So I decided, that's how I found out about Mary's Mills, and then Mary's Mills became one of my charities amongst the others, and by the time I was 8, Mary's Mills became my main charity. So that's why I've done all these events mainly for them, as well as 50 splits for others. At the top right, there's the 2 days before Christmas, 2011. Me and 24 others from my local town swimming club, between us we swam 1.5 marathons. A marathon, I'm sure some of you will be aware, is 26.2 miles. So between us, as there was only 24 of us, we would have had to swim at least a mile or more throughout the day. On the bottom left, there's a picture of me and my brother at top of Mount Snowdon, again 2 days before Christmas. I did that with me, my mum, my brother, and a friend who's filming it for his university project, and we all climbed Mount Snowdon together. Again, like I said, 2 days before Christmas, which I wouldn't advise you to do. It was quite dangerous, but we did it, and that was for Mary's Mills. But as those two events happened to be, we didn't really plan it, it was just due to dates that were available. Those two events happened to be on the 23rd of December, so 2 days before Christmas. So that's now become my stop and think day. It's 2 days before Christmas, you're about to get a whole load of presents and get rid of some old toys, and so now I've decided to make that day a day when you, like it says, stop and think about what you have and how little other people have, but how much you have. At the bottom right, like it was said in my introduction, that was me cycling from Brighton to Glasgow, and that was 603 miles, which is about 1,000 kilometres, as we got lost a couple of times. So that's what added on the extra miles. But that was only my second biggest event, as you heard also in the introduction. As for my biggest event, I cycled 2,000 kilometres, which is equivalent to 1,200 miles, so double the Scotland distance. Me, my mum and a couple of friends, we cycled from Crawley, our hometown, in between London and Brighton. We cycled from Crawley all the way to Kraków in Poland. We flew from Crawley, Gatwick Airport, we flew to Holland, we cycled through Holland, through Germany. It took us 2 weeks to get to the border of Poland. Then from there, it took us an extra week and we cycled down into Kraków, the old capital of Poland. So a total of a 3-week trip raising funds and awareness for Mary's Mills. Because all my events that I do, it's not just about the funds that you raise for the charity and other charities, but it's also about telling people how simple it is to raise money for numerous charities, especially charities like Mary's Mills. Something I didn't say, like when I said Mary's Mills became my main charity in 2008 when I was about 8 years old, what I didn't say is that at that point I actually said to my mum, I want to get a kitchen in Malawi. Me just being a small 8-year-old, she told me, no, you can't get a kitchen, you need to wait till you're older. But I proved her wrong, and by the time before I was 9, I had my kitchen in Malawi, and I was actually lucky enough to go and visit my kitchen in Malawi January 2013 for my 30th birthday, so obviously an amazing experience for me. I got my kitchen, like I said, in 2008 through Mary's Mills, and my mum told me that I wouldn't be able to get it, and like I say, I proved her wrong. But since then, the numbers of the kids at the school has grown from about 1,800 to about 1,400 children attending the school each day. And through Mary's Mills, like I say, as a global average in the 12 countries where they feed, it's only £12.20 to feed a child for a whole school year as that global average. You see that some of the children here are so happy to be receiving their meals, and you see them lined up outside of the kitchen here. And what Mary's Mills is doing is they're not just giving children food, they're actually giving them a lot more than that. Although really all they're physically giving them is their daily food to get by. But really, instead of what they're doing by giving them that food at school, instead of them being on the streets begging for money for food, they're at school receiving their daily meal to keep them going, an education, which means that one day they may break out of poverty and maybe become the nurses, the lawyers, the doctors, the pilots, the politicians, and even the president of their country, which a lot of them would like to be, to break their country out of the devastating state of poverty that they are in. You see here, again, me feeding some of the children. This is the first child that I fed at my school. And you see everybody in the background smiling, because this is such a big thing for them to meet the founder of the school. But obviously that wouldn't be possible with the help of people like you listening to my talk and supporting me, and hopefully maybe in the future fundraising for them. You see out the front, the school in the shade, again I keep going over the fact that these children are so happy, because really these children you wouldn't expect them to be the smiliest kids, you wouldn't expect them to be the happiest kids, but really these kids are the happiest and the smiliest and the friendliest kids that you will ever meet. Even though there's a language barrier between us and we couldn't speak each other's language, just through their happiness, it really gave across the amazing message of how amazing Mary's Mills was, because you saw the devastating poverty throughout Malawi and you saw how much starvation there was. But when I was able to go to the schools and visit my kitchen, all of a sudden these kids are cheery and smiley because they're getting an education, which a lot of us take for granted. But yet these children treasure it with everything they have because they don't have much. They might just have the mugs that they hold here and just maybe the clothes that they have, maybe a couple of books and a pen. Maybe that's all these children have. So everything they get, they treasure it and they thank you for it, because that is, even just giving them that tiny bit of food a day is an incredible thought for them. Just a final note before I wrap up, it is as much as a ticket. So here I have a cinema ticket. Just think that you might go to the cinema. By the time you and your friend go, maybe your whole family might go, then you might go into IMAX, then you might go get popcorn and Coke and sweets. And by the time you get all these things, you could end up feeding 1, 2, even 3 children if you go with your family. 1, 2 or 3 children for a whole year of school as a global average in the 12 countries where Mary's Mills feed. So just think about that. Instead of buying a CD of your favourite singer, really, if you think about it, you can get their songs off YouTube. So if you just sacrifice that one CD, you can actually save a child's life by feeding them for a whole year by only giving £12.20 towards Mary's Mills. But really, although you saw those children at my school cheery and smiley, that's not it. Like Ayrton said, there is enough food to feed everybody in the world. Enough food to feed everybody full to the brim with food. But yet there are people in Malawi dying every single day, and all over the world dying every single day because they don't have enough food at all. And really, we do need your help to help feed these children in every little way you can, even if it's just telling your friend about it, and then they might tell their friend, who might tell their friend, who might then do something massive. Just tell people and spread the word of Mary's Mills and other great charities, because there are children all around the world who really do need your help. So thank you again very much. I hope you enjoy the talk and that it has inspired you to do more. Thank you very much.